lot of people that affect me at all different times. I can be affected by a kid drawing on the street. I can be affected by, you know, something that's in a museum. You know, there's a spectrum of things. Everything kind of influences you, and everything, to me, as cliched as it might sound, is art. You know, I really think so.
I sell to Chewy's in Austin. It's a Mexican restaurant. That was a 6-week art show, and I brought them 85 pieces, and they sold out in 4 days, and that was 17 years ago. So I just kept bringing them fish, and I never asked if the show was over. And it's still going, and that's like my Social Security check now. I get my check every month.
1, 2, 3, 4. My baby don't mess around because I love her so, and this I know for sure.
My name is Greg Davis.
And what's your story? How did you get into photography?
You know, 3 years ago, about 3.5 years ago, I was working behind a desk for a computer company, Hewlett Packard, picking up the phone, selling computers for a day. There was no heart in it for me, so I was lucky in a position and realized my freedoms that I had. I had no mortgage, I had no debt, I had money in the bank, I had no wife, no children. I was really free to do what I wanted to do, so I quit my job, I sold everything I owned, I traveled around the world for 1 year with a $400 camera that's in my booth here. Not even a hobby of mine, really. You know, photography's not my thing. I don't sit around and read books, I'm not the camera toter, but I'm a traveler and I'm a storyteller, and what happened in this whole trip around the world was this change in my life, which is capturing compelling photographs that now I make my living off of. Yeah, I want to talk about this. This is my signature piece. This is the Blanket Weaver. The Blanket Weaver, I came across this woman on the trail in the far north of Vietnam, full traditional dress, black Hmong villager, one hand green, one hand blue. I didn't speak her language, I knew I didn't. I knew she didn't speak mine, but with my hands, I asked her, "What's on your hands?" She looks at her own hands, she goes, "I weave and this is dye." I had her hold her hands out. I took one shot of this woman's hands. I get back into the States. This image surfaces as my #1. It literally, no pun intended, grabs people and stops them dead in their tracks. This picture has changed my life. My fate lies in this woman's hands. So I'm going to go back to Vietnam in 3 years and find her and write a book about the return. It's called The Blanket Weaver, but that's what this is all about for me.
This is what we call the teaser. Front wheel to the front, oh, going down. There you go. To a 540 drop back in.
What I found is like what moved me the most throughout my life has always been music, okay? So I resonate deeply with musicians from an artistic standpoint and from an experiential standpoint. And so I started with these guys, but then I painted Jesus, and I painted the Virgin of Guadalupe, and I painted Abe Lincoln, and I've painted Lance Armstrong, and just inspirational figures who have inspired me with my life. And these are watercolor, and I paint flat on a flat surface. So I'll sketch, and then I'll paint, and then on these particular series, I dump water. I kind of baptize them, and then all hell breaks loose. And I'm basically recovering, so I spend 6 to 7 hours working on a painting only to try to destroy it and bring it back to life in a period of 10 minutes.